Hi everyone, it's Margaret Manning here. Welcome to 60 and Me. Hope you're doing great this morning. It's a beautiful day, sun is shining. Hope it's lovely wherever you are in this world. And I'm very conscious that we have women in 150 countries all over the world. And you're watching in the morning and the evening, different times of your day. Some of you are going out to work still, some are retired, others are housebound. I mean, we've got so many incredible people in our community. So I want to first of all say welcome and thank you for being here. Thanks for joining us and for being so engaged and communicative on our Facebook page, on Twitter, on our website. And don't forget this YouTube channel. We've got, I think about 850 now videos that we've recorded over the last 4 years and on every topic under the sun. And so if you have a specific interest, just do a search on, just go to youtube.com/60andme and you'll find all kinds of interesting conversations. But anyway, this morning I've got my cup of tea. I'm drinking something a little bit unusual. It's from Twinings and it's called Fresh and Fruity. And I don't actually normally drink fruit teas, but this is nice. It's got raspberry, cranberry, and elderflower. So it's a really nice drink and I'm enjoying it a lot. It's different. So I hope you've got a cup of tea, coffee, or maybe a juice, or whatever you've got to make you feel relaxed and comfortable. Let's have a chat about something. We've been talking a little bit lately about conversation and about communicating and how important that is. And we have a blogger, Jeff Henning, who actually runs a business to help women get back into the workplace again after being out for a while, and how to use LinkedIn and other resources that are going to help you to communicate your skills to the world. But he wrote this article, which I wanted to share because it's kind of a different take on communication. And it's all about how there's something very powerful that you can do without saying a word. And that's all about your body language when you're talking. Now, this may be, you may think of it first as applying to when you're interviewing, for a job or interviewing for a position. But it really, in my opinion, is the advice and thoughts are for really any time you're sitting with someone and having a conversation. It could be, could be a date. It could be just a new friend you've made. But it's a whole way of looking at communication in non-verbal ways. So I think you'll find this kind of interesting. So first thing that Jeff talks about is your posture. And I slouch, but I need to sit up. And posture is so important because it talks of confidence and pride and just being grounded. When you stand up nice and straight and you look at someone, you're talking to them eye to eye, you really do feel confident when your posture is straight. Even now I can sense that when my spine is straight. So shoulders back, head up. And by the way, as I'm looking at my notes here, thinking about this is also great advice for your grandkids or your adult children. If you notice that they're not standing up straight, I mean, your mom always used to say it, didn't she? Stand up straight, put a book on your head and just practice walking. But sometimes it's really important just to say, hey, one thing that really makes you look and feel confident is if you stand up straight. So make a game out of it with your grandkids. But it's really important. Another thing that he says is that, people may look at you talking to me, like if you're talking all over the place and not looking at someone, really important to make eye contact. That's the second important rule of good body language. We really do notice eyes. We take really a lot of time and attention to pay attention to how someone's eyes are looking at us. And if you notice, it's really hard actually to look at someone while they're talking. You tend to look down or look up or away. It's a little bit uncomfortable, but you do like to come back to that point where you're looking each other in the eye. Keep good, steady eye contact. It can be challenging, but it's good to practice. Another thing that Jeff says is to sit still. When you're talking to someone, just try not to fidget so much. And it's really a very common thing that we do. We're so used to just kind of being animated, but sitting still kind of, it just establishes a relationship that has some sense of control and, portrays confidence again. If you lean in, it kind of shows that you're interested. It kind of gives you that sense that, yeah, I'm taking an interest here. If you do this and you cross your arms, we know this. That it just sets up a barrier between you. It makes people feel that you're not connecting. But if you lean in a little bit and look at them, it really makes a big difference. And don't fidget. I do fidget with my hands a lot, but I try to keep that under control by doing a mudra, just putting it together and just, sort of sitting there with my fingers to connect it. But don't fidget. Another thing is to be expressive with your hands. It's okay. I mean, I love how the Italians talk. You can almost do this whole language with how they express themselves and how they just are so alive with their hands. Be casual and relaxed. You don't have to go flying all over the place. Just use your hands to express how you're feeling, and don't be afraid to to use your whole body. But try to do it in a way that's sincere. I mean, obviously sincere, and that you really do care about communicating the heart of your conversation to them. So obviously another suggestion is not to bite nails, of course. And we don't shake hands. It's a really interesting one. Do you shake hands still with people? I actually do, and I tend to shake hands and then put my other hand on top, so that I kind of am holding with two hands. I know maybe it's a common way for women maybe to shake hands, but I feel like connecting with both hands is more sincere for me. So but if you're going to shake hands, do it with a firmness. Don't be afraid to connect with that person, and use that shaking of the hand as a way to say, I'm really glad to meet you. Nice to meet you. And even say those words, great to meet you, as you're shaking hands. The general rule that Jeff always gives is, if you don't know what to do with your hands, because sometimes you don't, if you're standing, keep your hands by your side. This is going to sound kind of strange, but I actually do wear a dress, a couple of dresses I have with pockets, because my pockets, I feel comfortable with my pockets. They're just at a length where I can just put my hands in. I can't show you, but keep my arms still bent. They're not like really low, they're up high. So I wear pockets to sort of give my arms somewhere to go. I have quite long arms, so I'm conscious of them. And then if you're sitting, it's best to keep your hands folded. And especially if you're in a meeting where you're trying to impress with your poise and your dignity and your personality, it may not be, I guess if you're not in that kind of person and you're not interested in that, you wouldn't be in the job interview situation or in the meeting interview situation. So for those of you who are looking to present a sort of mature and just put together person, keep your hands folded in your lap or down by your sides. This is the expert speaking, not me, Jeff. Another thing is to listen up. When someone's talking, it's so easy to just be planning your next sentence. How many times have you done that? And then you actually don't hear what they say. It's really, really important to listen to what people are saying. And every now and again, just even stop them and say, hang on a second, can I just clarify? Do I understand that you said, and then this, and this, as opposed to this? And then they'll say, yeah, that's what I mean. Great, okay, so I want to make sure I understood. And then just use that kind of pause to sort of really listen to what they said. Listen to their point of view, which may, believe it or not, differ from yours, and then reply. But only when you've given them the opportunity to say what their thoughts are, what their point of view is, then you kind of earn the right to enter your opinion. And I'm always very conscious of saying things like, well, in my opinion, or the way that I see it, rather than just sort of, well, I don't know, that just doesn't seem right to me. And it being more like, I kind of get your point of view. And if you can find a point of agreement, even if you disagree, it's super important to engage and say something like, wow, so we're both agreed that this plan is going to benefit our grandchildren. But can I just give you my opinion on how I think it might work better, or how it might work? Don't even say better. And then say, your point of view is this, but my point of view is this. Then you've got something that you found a point of agreement, and then your conversation then becomes constructive. And it's, instead of saying, that's a really great idea, but it won't work, or but it's a great idea, but try something a little different and say, wow, that's a really interesting idea. And why don't we look at doing this? So it's agree and rather than agree but. Because I think that people always wait for that but, and then it kind of deflates them. So anyway, the point about listening up is listen up, really listen. And then when you've really listened, you kind of get the gist of the point of view, and then you have you have an opportunity to say what's on your mind. I think this is the only way, honestly, that we're going to start building bridges. I mean, I know, Jeff, I'm going off the topic of the article here, but it's so important, I think, given all the differences of opinion that are sort of amplified on social media and in the news, that we actually do take time to listen to each other. And then almost make it a rule that you won't try to explain your position until you've listened to someone else's and at least agreed on one point. Even if it's just to say, well, it's clear that you're super passionate about this and I respect that. And then go on. I wish we could have like talking circles. That'd be a really cool idea where people could get together and practice how to talk to each other. I just think we need that these days. Don't you think, though, that we used to have such great conversations because that was all we had? We didn't have phones and text, messaging and all kinds of WhatsApp and Facebook. We could just sit and chat. And somehow chatting got things out. Anyway, be empathetic, be engaged. The last thing that he talks about is don't phone home. Don't have your cell phone there. At least if you have it on mute or light sound, and don't take calls unless it's an absolute emergency. If your child is trying to get hold of you, obviously take a look at the call, say, oh, I just need to take this call, it's my son, or it's my bat phone, someone's an emergency. But in a meeting, just if you can, just leave them behind. Super important. So those are a few ideas that Jeff has got for nonverbal communication. I think they're really useful. How do you feel? I'd love to know, do you think that you're a good communicator? And if you do, what do you do that makes you a good communicator? I would be really interested to know what you think about that. I think it's so important. Okay, well, have a wonderful day, everybody. Leave your answer to that question. Do you think you're a good communicator? And what do you do that makes you a good communicator? Leave your comments below, join the conversation, and thanks again for being here. Tell a friend about 60andMe, and let's just keep going. Have a wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye-bye for now.